I'm thinking of ending things.
Huh?
What?
Did you say something?
I don't think so.
Weird.
I'm thinking of ending things.
When Keith wanted to talk about this film, he brought it up to me, and I just thought it was one of his daily texts. It just said, I'm thinking of ending things. And I said, I know, Keith.
It was it.
What movie do you want to do?
Written and directed by Charlie Kaufman. Should be noted. But
should.
when I was Googling, I was looking at Halloween movies. It was Halloween time when I was doing this, and we were just looking at, more spooky movies. So I was Googling stuff, looking for interesting. I like thought-provoking, more thrillers and like slasher kind of stuff.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I was just looking, and this kind of came up in the feed, and I thought, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. When I read the title, I was like, oh, this is about someone trying to kill themselves? Interesting. And then I read the blurb, and then read more about the movie, and the description of the logline is more about a guy and a girl, about to break up, and they're on their way to their mother's house. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So we put it on. My wife and I put it on, and then turns out my gut instinct was right the whole time. And it is about someone trying to kill themselves. Spoiler alerts for a 5-year-old movie. But true to life, true to his talents, Charlie Kaufman, it's a very interpretational film. It's something that is meant to be discussed. It's an interesting piece of work. And after seeing it, I reached out to Evan. I said, we should just talk about it. And I said, even if you didn't want to do an episode, because I could also see maybe we shouldn't even be doing this, I would want to hear your just general thoughts on it because of how kind of different this experience I thought was from a film standpoint. So, Everett, what do you think about this film?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you brought this up. I was wanting to do it. I watched this film when it came out. The end of 2020, really the height of the pandemic. It gives me strong pandemic memories of being in my apartment with my wife, then girlfriend, in North Hollywood, and just sitting in and watching this and being really affected by it. And then I watched it again for the second time this morning in advance of shooting this episode with you. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I loved it more today. And I really think I loved it back then. I had to, true to my own form, I had to ask my wife, I was like, did I love it back then? Because as I was watching it today, I thought God, was this my favorite movie from that year? There was this part of my brain that was because this is before we were doing our year-end episode, so I didn't even know for sure. But I think it was, and my wife clarified, she says she really loved it, and I liked it a lot, but was thrown a little bit by the ending of it. And then her and I talked about it and talked about different theories and unpacked it a little bit. And the more you know, or the more you think about it and the more you discover, I think the more you like it. So for me, watching it on a second viewing was so rewarding and enjoyable because when you know what it is, it's actually not that weird. It's obviously weird and surreal, but when you're trying to grapple on that first viewing to be what, wait, what, why, what, why? And the second, and then you learn and you're oh, well, yeah. So it's fun to watch it with the, oh, well, yeah attitude, because then you get to just really enjoy the nuances of the writing and the performances and just lean all the way in. So I really love it. It's a great movie.
That's the reason I wanted to talk about it. This very question, I'm just having a Charlie horse right now.
Charlie Kaufman.
I'm old now. It just
Charlie Kaufman horse.
For you, Charlie. For you. We're
welcome. Also writers.
So poignant.
Yes.
This is really what I wanted to talk about. Exactly what you're discussing. Because I watched this movie, and I like to think that I'm at least average in terms of film IQ. You may say below. Our viewers would definitely say below.
Yeah, they know you well.
But I like to think I'm an average, maybe even slightly above average. Like I feel like I can pick up on things that are happening in movies and like understand a little bit more of the intent. I really enjoyed what was happening. I just couldn't figure out what was going on. Again, if we haven't described it succinctly yet, like this is a fever dream of a janitor who is planning or deciding whether or not to kill himself. And everything that you're seeing is just sort of playing out in his own head that ultimately leads to him deciding to kill himself is sort of my best interpretation of it, but maybe that's even incorrect.
To me, and I think it's like he is dying. Like it's his death process. I feel like this is all the things that are flashing through his brain as he's died. And it's interrupted once in a while by his own voice being like, there's one question. And that is like, are you going through with this? But to me, it's not like the lead up to him deciding. I feel like he's in the truck freezing to death the whole time. And it's just this mismatch of half memories and half things he's imagined and all that stuff at once. So I think he's dead. You know, he's dying, and in the end, he's dead.
Yes, definitely at the end, he is dead.
Yeah.
But not the you talking about the second time watching it and not having to worry about understanding it once you have the proper context, it becoming a much better film is true. I didn't watch it again, but I like replayed it in my head. I rewound a few parts. Well, I did the online searching, what other people saying about it. Like, so I got all this sort of context through all of it. And then I started to like it a lot more, much like you're describing. Oh yeah, actually, fuck, man, that's so intentional and interesting. And I love the uniqueness of it. So we'll talk about the positives in a second, but I really want to ask, does that make a good film if I can't go along with it as I'm watching it? I don't know if you should be able to bank on someone watching your film multiple times. Mm-hmm. I would think you get one chance at this. And whatever that experience is that experience. And that for me was not a pleasant one because I spent all of it trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. Yeah. And that made it less enjoyable. So is it a good film? Is that good or is that bad? Or is that nothing?
My opinion is that like it's that there aren't those rules. You know what I mean? Like there's not a rule. Like I generally agree with the idea, and we've talked about this before, that like if a movie's good, it should just be good. Like I've always kind of recoiled a little bit from like, you got to watch it 2 or 3 times. But there's exceptions to every rule when I believe the exceptions.
Deem it to be true, yeah.
But no, I don't think there is. I think it can be good for different reasons, right? There's a lot of ways that something can be good. There's a lot of ways a film can be good. And this film is good in a multitude of ways. And for me, when you watch it the first time, it's so good at like the feeling. Like the feeling it gave me watching it the first time, which was like dread and discomfort and confusion and sort of like this sadness, this nostalgic sadness of my own mortality and life and childhood. And part of that emotion, that discomfort and that confusion is coming from the fact that you're literally kind of confused and your brain is like misfiring, trying to like find some piece of reality to grab onto. And then it ends, and then part of it is like, yeah, you got to kind of talk about it. And I think that the other elements of the film, the filmmaking, the writing especially, obviously, are so enjoyable that the performances, they're so enjoyable that it is enjoyable as you watch it, even if it makes you feel weird and confused. And then the second time you watch it, it's good from a logical standpoint and from all those other ways. Like, you know, there's like it's like multi-layered. You're unpacking each time, but it was good to me the first time. You know what I mean? Like Tenet is the example I use, the Christopher Nolan films. I watched it once and I was just like fucking lost and frustrated. And I don't want to watch it again. But people are like, no, you got to watch it. And I'm just like, fuck you. It's 3 hours long.
But that's what we're talking about. That I feel like you like that. And you're right. There's no one definitive answer. It's kind of to each their own on this. But for me, confusion is the word that I can't get past. If I am wondering what the fuck is going on most of the movie, then I can't enjoy the expert level stuff that is happening around it. And I really do like the suspense, the tension, the dread, the sadness, the writing. It's all there. Even really the cinematography I thought was very good.
Yeah.
You know, doing a lot with sort of a very small scale thing, like very intentional, the cinematography. Like I really liked it. Like this, I like the story, even outside of like the sort of twist and metaphorical stuff. Just I liked a lot of that, but it's hard for me. I really have this internal battle of whether I love it or I just hate it. Like it's tough. It is tough for me.
To me, it matters that, like, in my opinion, the ending makes so much sense. Like once you kind of understand what's happening, it makes enough sense. Whereas I would be more on the like, I don't like that if it just kind of ended, which this movie very well could have. You know, this feels like the kind of movie that is just like totally ambiguous. Like it just ends halfway through the Oklahoma dance sequence at the end or whatever, and you're just like, what? And it doesn't ever land the plane in terms of. Really, I mean, I think it really clearly explains to you what's going on, which is funny. And then if you read about stuff after the fact, like Charlie Kaufman's never kept it a secret. Like he's like, no, this is a man dying, and what he's spelling it out to you. And so that helps me in my enjoyment. Whereas if it just kind of ended and the director or the writer or whatever is just like, well, it's up to interpretation. Like then I'm like, that sucks. But like this isn't. It's just. He tells you what it is, and that makes it more enjoyable.
Yeah, but that's after the fact.
Sure.
I like the movie so much more, and it grew on me over the days after when I did more reading, when I rewatched a few parts, when I talked about it with my wife, when I explored it more on my own. You know, like then it starts to resonate. And maybe that I'm just saying, well, that's what a good film is. Like this one just like maybe that's what that is.
Yeah.
But the 2.5 hours or whatever it is that I watched it, I just shaking my head, trying to be like, what the fuck? I'm trying to figure out what's going on, not in a sense to like, oh, Bruce Willis is dead the whole time. I knew it. Just to really get the bearings of the space, the universe, what's really, so I can go along on the ride. I want to be taken on take me. Yeah. I give in. Just, you know, if I can't go with you on this, it's really hard for me to enjoy it. And I don't know what side is actually right. Is it actually a shitty film because I saw it and when I watched it, I didn't understand? Or because a week later I did homework and now it starts to make more sense? Like, is that actually good or is that bad? Jury's out for me.
It's up to you. Yeah. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I love so much about it. And a lot of it comes back to like the quality of the script for me. I think like this structure really allows someone like Charlie Kaufman, like the ability to put his own perspective and observations about life and death and everything into it in a way that feels very natural and logical for this world.
Everything is tinged.
It's tinged.
Colored by mood, by emotion, by past experience. There is no objective reality. Because
it is sort of like stream of consciousness. It's very like dream. Like it really just nails that energy of a dream, of a nightmare. And sometimes that like other films try to do and can't really, where it's just like those hard cuts or it jumps, you know, they're sitting at the table all of a sudden and the food's all there and fire's on and fire's off. The dog's there, the dog's not. Like all that stuff, it really nails that. And I think that's really special.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about it. Like that is one of the aspects that I loved about it. Is it does capture, I'm just going to repeat you, but it does capture what it's like that dreamlike state and how sort of continuity exists but doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It exists but it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like that is perfect because there's a bunch of times where I'm going to go like that doesn't, but it works.
Yeah.
Like I caught it. I caught a lot of it. And then you're like, oh, interesting.
Within the confines of their conversation, she lapses into like Pauline Kael film reviews of a John Cassavetes movie, and he can hear her thoughts sometimes and sometimes not.
Yes.
Like, it's like, that's very dreamlike. It's very brilliant.
Yes. Yeah. Great. It's great. It's great stuff. When there's almost a point when she goes into the basement and she like sees the paintings that she showed, but it's his name. Like, then I'm like, are they the same person? Like, I go through this. There's like 5 different versions of this movie. I thought at one point they were using people's body parts to stay young. And at another point, I'm like, they're actually the same person. He's telepathic, actually. Like, and again, maybe this just all, as I say it out loud, I go, no, this is a fucking great film for making you think of all these different possible perspectives of what is actually happening.
Yeah.
But none of them are even close. Like, I'm not even the same ballpark as to what actually is happening in this film.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
No, yeah, it's so cool. I mean, what you always have to mention is based on a book, which I didn't realize until I was reading about it after the fact, a book written in, I think, 2015 or 2016, and adapted so masterfully by Kaufman. I love that it's like, I mean, you say you were looking for this as you were looking for Halloween movies, so it probably came up on some list of spooky, thriller, horror adjacent. I love the idea of sort of like making this horror film that's like just psychological horror that's about suicide and death and mortality and family. And there is no, like, the villain is you yourself, in a way. And I love that so much, just that someone had that idea. And then I love that Jake, the main character whose brain we're in the whole time, is like a piece of shit. Like, he's not a good guy. He is a creep. Like, did you get that impression? Because I very much got that, like, he is a lonely old man who's a janitor at the school who makes all the girls uncomfortable everywhere he goes. And he's like, I think he really was peeping on people. And that's why he has this, he's dying alone and he wants to die because he's had this shitty existence of being a creep. And like, I love that. It's a huge thing. And spoiler alert for any future film I make. I love, A, there's this misdirect of like, he's actually the main character and he's the old guy the whole time. But B, that he's not our hero is not a hero. Like, this guy sucks. Yeah. Like, he's a piece of shit. I love that. I love as you describe it. I don't know if I got that. I'm not saying it's not true. The peeping Tom thing feels more accurate just because there's that moment where they say like he's watching us. I gotta go. Yeah, and it flashes the image of him peeping through a hole.
And he's peeping through a hole. Like, but again, is that him? Like, what is that? Is that him watching this in his own head, like, unfold? And he's tantalized by it because he never had it. Because my sort of interpretation was that girl was like a lost love of his. Not that I'm right. I'm just saying this was my interpretation as I watched it. That girl was a girl in his life that got away, didn't love him. And he sort of lamented that the whole time, felt lonely and abandoned and left behind. And sort of this was him playing out a potential future for them.
Well, that part's right. But I think it's...
But not that he was a perv. Not that, like, I didn't necessarily...
No, the perv thing is twofold in the sense that I think everything that's happening when we see the janitor going about his day, all those intercuts, that's real. And so,
yes,
in 3 of those scenes, high school girls recoil at the sight of him, and like the girl, like, and in a way that's like, oh, that guy makes me really uncomfortable. And then when they go to the ice cream shop, and those girls, he's like, oh, I can't. A lot of the girls here don't like me, And then the other part is at the end when Jessie Buckley, the main gal, is talking to him, the janitor. She describes their encounter at the trivia night.
We were celebrating our anniversary, stopped in for a drink, and then this guy kept looking at me. He was a nuisance. He was a creeper,
And says he was just some guy. It was like asking me to remember a mosquito that bit me 40 years ago, because he was just this guy staring at me and making me uncomfortable at the bar. And so I think Jake was this fucking creepy guy, and he was staring at her at a trivia night years ago, and then imagined over the course of his lonely life, God, you know, the way we all have done, I'm sure you see somebody and you project and you go, whoa, what if I could see my whole life with that person? And now that he's old and even shittier and he's killing himself in his truck, he's revisiting those blocky, inconsistent fantasies about this idealized woman, like the Wordsworth poem that he references at the beginning in the car too. Like, I think it was a meeting that he literally made this woman uncomfortable, and now he just imagines what could have been.
He very much could have been a creep. I'm not saying that that's not a real thing.
No, you're taking his side. You relate.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out. Just trying to still understand.
If peeping through holes in the walls, everybody that does that's a creep now. Yeah, I hear you, Keith.
You ever see Porky's?
I've never seen so much wool. You can knit a sweater. This has got to be the biggest beaver shoot in the history of Florida.
You tell me those kids are creeps?
It's just good, clean fun. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I feel like you could tell the other side, like his perspective could be that he just feels rejected. That's his feelings. That like, people don't like me. People are repulsed by me. I get this feeling that people don't like me. Not that he is doing anything, but that's just his interpretation of how people interpret him. He was just sitting across the bar, looked at some girl, and she's like, "You're a loser. I don't even like you." Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't implicitly say he was being a creep or being weird.
Yeah, that doesn't, but I think the film kind of does. Like, I get your point overall. That there is a version of this that could be a little open to that interpretation. But and like to your point, maybe it was just his own imagination. But I think that the film is letting you know that this guy's kind of a weirdo, and that, you know, my interpretation of him flashing to the old man peeping, because the guy, when it cuts to that old man peeping, it's not cutting to him peeping at them. It looks like to me in that flash that he's peeping through a small hole in a wall, likely in the school, like at the girls.
School, yeah.
So like to me, it's telling you this guy is, and it also, if he is a creep, I guess that goes both ways. I was gonna say it would support the fact that he hates his life and wants to die, but if he was just rejected his whole life, he would also perhaps hate his life and want to die. But love it.
That's the fun part of filmmaking and film watching is really the interpretation part. I mean, I like these types of movies that allow you to figure some part of it out. Mm-hmm. I struggle with how much I need, like, what's that percentage? In my mind, it's 60, 70%. Like, I need to be led somewhere. But then leave the last 30% open for my interpretation. Yes, that's fun. That's what sort of movies can do for you, is they transport you and then you can kind of fill in the blanks and get the experience that you want out of it. That's lovely. That's beautiful. I love it. I don't know, this film feels more like, here's 5%. Go fuck yourself.
But what I like about it, again, is that, like, it's just like, I understand what you're saying, but it's a matter of, like, you just didn't guess that that's what this was. You know, and if you did, then it's all good. You know what I mean? Then it does give you.
So I'm the problem?
Yeah, always. But you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're talking about, are they taking body parts to stay young? Oh, are they the same person? Oh, but if you would thought like, is this like a dying dream of this guy as an old man? Then it's all there. So I think that's why it works better than so much of those kind of similar, really surreal, confusing films, is that, like, you just didn't, like, so to me, it gives you everything. It doesn't tip you off to it. And that's great, because if you did, if you went to see The Sixth Sense and you immediately figured out that Bruce Willis was dead in the first 5 minutes, like, hey, all right, cool. Like, it wasn't keeping anything from you. You know what I mean? Like, this is just like that. You just didn't think of the twist. It just happened to get a little funky towards the end because it's a fucking dream world. It's great.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed the ballet.
Yeah.
Part of it. I was just like, this movie, outside of the movie itself, it was a movie that made me sort of reignite a little bit of like, yeah, man, I would love to make something again. Like it made me think about what would I do if I could tell a unique story. And like, is there any, like I love it. I love the stuff that he did.
Yeah.
And I love the effects that I felt and the thought that goes into it. I love the thought that I can see in hindsight that he put into it. I just want my filmmakers to give a shit.
Yeah.
And he clearly does.
Yeah.
So I respect it no matter what. It's awesome, and I love that it exists.
Yeah.
So great.
To that, and not that we need to make this full pivot, but that reminds me of just like, I'm also so grateful that this sort of thing exists. And to me, it's like the dichotomy of Netflix, like the good and the bad, where it's like, I'm so happy that, this film might have struggled to find funding or something somewhere else. Netflix prints money and can just be like, yeah, here, make this movie, Charlie Kaufman. Like, that's fantastic. But then because it just goes, and it's just on Netflix and it's just forgotten. You know what I mean? Like, I remember this movie in the sense that, like, yeah, I really like Jesse Plemons and Jessie Buckley a lot. So I follow their careers. I remember this movie. But it's not one that you're just going to really stumble upon, the way that we used to find movies, because they exist and there's a DVD somewhere, and it's like it's part of the zeitgeist. That Netflix is so harmful to the zeitgeist because it's just like a blob of shit that you just like, all right, and on to the next, and that makes me sad because I'd like something like this to have its own life, like its own plane,
Yeah.
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 But yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's a shame that you can't. It's a shame that the worst part of DVDs going away was that there's no second life to it. I don't think there's a similar second life on streaming.
No.
That it was with DVDs. Streaming is such a different animal that it doesn't breathe life, one, financially, and which is part of why the business is dying.
Yeah.
But just even in that time where you're talking about is like stumbling upon.
Yeah.
I remember a time when I would just go to Best Buy. Like I was in high school, Friday nights, be like, let's go to Best Buy and just look around the movie section and see what now it is curated in a way that I'm only going to get certain things.
Yeah.
And you're going to get different things. If I scroll the same way on Netflix like I would at Best Buy when I was in high school, it's a completely different experience. I'm only going to get fed the things it thinks I'm going to actually watch.
Yeah.
I'll never find a movie like this because I don't often watch movies like this, so I'm never going to get movies like this.
Yeah.
It's a very different experience in terms of
there's
life cycle for a movie.
infinite choices because there's all the streaming services. So you turn on your TV
That's
and
also
there's
true.
literally 100,000 things that you could choose to watch, and it cheapens, it devalues those things by saturating the market, which is a whole other conversation. But it does make me sad because we think about when you grew up and there was your family owned 5 VHSs or 10 VHSs, and those are your favorite movies, and you watch those every day, and that like means something, and it becomes part of your life. And not that you would have watched this movie when you were a kid, but it's that kind of energy where it's like, oh, if you had this VHS or this DVD and you didn't have a million choices every day on your computer or your smart TV, then it becomes part of you, and it like really helps shape your opinions and your thoughts and your creativity. And now it's just slog. It's just blah, 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 in one ear and out the other.
Everything sucks.
Love all these performances. Like I said, Jesse Plemons is one of my favorite actors, and Jessie Buckley is as well. I think they're so talented. I think everything they do is really, really interesting and fun. Anytime I see either of them in a trailer, I get excited. And then I think them in that car with this writing, with Charlie Kaufman's writing, is I could just watch that for hours. It's just so well done. Never like acting, it's never over the top. It's just very real and buyable. And then I'm a big David Thewlis fan. The dad, I think he's so good and so funny, and Toni Collette too, obviously, but like them together is particularly when they first arrive at the dinner table and Thewlis is just like, like doing, like he's really doing it. And I just love it. Like them laughing, her laughing awkwardly and being, that whole dinner scene is phenomenal too.
Yeah.
I love it, love it, love it.
Phenomenally uncomfortable.
Yes.
And like you're just like on wobbling stilts. Like the whole, like,
yes.
you think you got it, and then it's like, nope, no. What's happening? No, I can't understand what's, nope. It's really good. It's very good.
Yeah. At any moment, one of, like, any of them could have a total, like, psychic breakdown, mental breakdown, or like, it's so uncomfortable. Like the mom, Toni Collette, is just like, what is making her upset? It's like different things are randomly like making her start tweak a little bit, and you're like, Jesus, what is happening?
And what I appreciated about it is that it feels like it has a pulse to it, where it is not, you're not stretching that rubber band and you're just like until it breaks. It's, you stretch it, it's uncomfortable, and you let it goes back down. And then you feel like you're safe for a moment. It gives you a chance to breathe. And then, because they laugh, there's moments where they're like, oh, they're figuring it out. They're getting along.
Good.
And good. And I personally need that. Right? I need that. If you're just like, like I don't like that. It's less fun for me. But the sort of accordion nature of it, I really enjoy. It feels much better and a more enjoyable experience for me. Yeah. So I love that this is executed at a very high level here.
Yeah. I just love in general Kaufman's ability. And it's even just through his writing too, because we just talked about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which he obviously didn't direct, but still, I think, does a great job of capturing the energy of all his scripts and his projects, which are just sort of like, they're always very intimate, and they're always very nostalgic, and they're always very existential. And I'm just like, even though this film is confusing and weird and trippy, and you're like, is something really bad about to happen at any second? So there's like that discomfort. While that's happening, simultaneously, I'm like feeling long dormant emotions about my own mortality and like my own family. You know, like I didn't grow up on a farm, but just being in that farmhouse, going up to his room, his parents are all of a sudden really old. The juxtaposition of his young room with the old dad, he's got Alzheimer's, the mom's being fed, and you're just like, oh my God, my parents are gonna die. My parents are gonna get old. I'm gonna be old. Oh my God, I'm gonna be thinking about all of these sliding door moments in my life, and the loves and the loves lost and the pets and and it's just like, without like hitting you over the head with it, like, think about this, feel this way. It really does that. It really makes me, and like I get like emotional about it, because it's just like, oh, how are you doing this? Like it's really a cacophony of emotion, and it's I love that. I love that about his stuff. It's very reflective. It inspires reflection.
Yeah. Well said. I agree.
Thank you.
I won't regurgitate.
Regurgitate, Keith. Feed it back to me, baby.
Hungry fella?
Yeah. What I wrote down, I mean, Kaufman's writing is so fucking great. I think I said this in Eternal Sunshine episode, but like he has such a way of being writerly without it feeling like I hear the writer. And
that's my criticism. That's not even criticism. Like, okay. I just disagree a bit. He's a great writer, full stop. But that car ride, the two car rides, they go on for a bit, as they should. I don't think they shouldn't. But after a while, I did feel like this is a little poetic, a little on the poetic, flowery, writerly side of things. A touch.
There was half a second in the second car ride that I was just like, all right.
Like I get it. I get it. Like
this is going on for a little while, so yeah, sure.
I get it.
But it feels natural to that world, like it's that dreamscapey world that it like I said earlier, it allows this opportunity for him to sort of insert his own observations in a way that's like so much more subtle even than someone like Woody Allen, where you just like literally all the characters just are saying thoughts that Woody Allen's had these funny quips, or like me. No, I'm not comparing myself to Woody Allen, but like, you know, where it's just like
only in one way.
every script I've ever written is just like every character is just a different part of my own psyche talking about sharing a joke or sharing a funny observation, only funny to me. And so I've always respected writers who can really put their own thoughts into something, but make it feel like it's those characters' thoughts, like very authentic.
Yeah. It's incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Tons of writing to highlight, but I just love, even in the beginning, she says, the line sort of about, I'll paraphrase, like, humans are the only animal that know the inevitability of their own death. Other animals live in the present, and humans cannot do that, so they invent hope. Like that's heartbreaking and brilliant. And like, and so like that kind of shit is just like, yeah. It's just like that one after another throughout this movie. You're like, oh yeah, fuck, you're right. That's fucking great. I gotta call my mom. You know, it's like, I gotta go hug my wife and kiss my dog. Like this is rough.
Yeah. Life's terrible. Do you not know that?
I'm thinking of ending things.
I encourage it.
Keith. Big. Yeah, I do. That's great. All right, anything else? It's fun.
That's my main question is just, is it good if you don't understand any of it while you watch it?
Yeah. I think it depends. I think it's a shitty non-answer, but I think it just depends on if the rest of it's good, you know? Like, I don't know. I still say, well, I'll cut all this, but like Tenet was so confusing to me. And it's the kind of story, because it's so big and grand and action-packed, and there's like real clear consequences to scenes, that like I need to understand the larger, have some sense of why this matters. Whereas a film like this that's smaller and much more intimate and personal and, you know, not metaphorical, but you know, like
kind
of, you know, that kind of way, like that's better for me, because I don't really need to understand the story when I'm getting so much of like the emotion and the feeling and the script. Like the writing is so nice that I'm just like, okay, whatever is happening, I'm feeling feelings and I'm enjoying this prose. You know what I mean? Like, so that's different. It's like every movie's a little different in that way.
Yeah. I find myself just like gravitating towards smaller scale stuff. I really love that this is, I just felt it so endearing that there's 4 people in this movie.
Yeah.
5 if you count the other guy, you know, but it's like there's, and I get inspired by like, fuck, I could like, let me go get 4 people. Let me just go get 4 people, get a car and a home. And, you know, like we could just do this and like, look at what you can do with this small, like that to me is just, you don't need aliens and visual effects and you know, just like find creative ways, like do a fucking lighting change and dance and blood, like the red flag for blood. Like, fucking great. Like I adore it. Because it feels so real and so tangible. It's like, that's the beauty of filmmaking, in my opinion. Like you don't need all the shit. It's nice to have those things. I want to see the next Avengers, whatever. Like I'll see it, but I love this stuff. I love it because I relate to it. I connect to it on a personal level, not just the story, just the journey of the film. So I eat that shit up.
No, I get it. It's but you know, the problem is this is not a movie that is was made to be watched like this. So that's why these movies don't get made that much, because that's why they make movies now. I know. I really love just randomly the sequence at the ice cream shop. The girl with the rash, the conversation that she has with Jessie Buckley about just like, you're not like pretty like them, but then just like, no, I didn't mean it like that. I just mean like their type of prettiness has a certain like, the word she used, like coldness or hardness or something like, and it's just so like touching and relatable, you know, and she's like, obviously you're very beautiful, but like, I know that's just like such a random thing to grab onto, but their whole interaction was just so, like, that's the kind of thing where it's like, that's, you know, I'm not a woman, I don't have that perspective, but from my perspective, like that's a realistic observation that Charlie Kaufman is putting into a female character talking to another female character that feels very natural and not like a guy thinking that from afar, putting it into these women. You know what I mean? Like I just...
100%.
Yeah.
I really do. I like that that scene. I really don't like the car stuff. Just that's my least favorite, I should say. But the house stuff and the ice cream stuff and the stuff at the school, even.
Yeah.
I just think are really just A-level shit. Man.
Yeah.
I just like. It was just like you don't have to go through with this. Again, looking back though, it's like you don't have to go forward with this.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that's a thing like he's still contemplating it, not that it is already decided.
I don't have to go where?
Forward in time. You can stay here.
Because I assume that's what she's referring to. What's that?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. But then it's just
like
in the
you
process.
don't have to move forward. I feel I'm nervous for you. Stay here or whatever. I forget specifically.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. No, that's a fair point. And I love though within this, you know, this illusion world that she's just sort of like a figment or a projection, but she has her own agency. And there's it's not just, you know, like that you can, if you wanted to go looking for it, maybe some of this is intentional, you can find purpose in her character and a message behind being in a controlling relationship. You know what I mean? That like you like break free of that and how tragic it can be if you can't. And even though it's not a real relationship, it is sort of. So there's like such layered nuance. I thought a lot of Fight Club a little as I rewatched this, and I just thought like Fight Club is obviously a very different kind of movie, but a movie that really does reward multiple watchings and not just to understand the what ifs or what's happening, but just to catch all of the really intricate details. And I love that. I think those movies have such lifespan because, you know, watching this a second time and reading about it again afterwards, like all of the script is great and poignant and inspirational, but also the details of what her name is at certain times based on what sort of media they're talking about. It's the painting, it's the Woodworth poems, or all of that is so connected and like wonderfully like just interconnected and works so well together that I bet you could watch it 10 times and you're not going to see every little nuance. And I respect that kind of filmmaking so much because I think I'm a good filmmaker, but I don't have a brain that works like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I could ever do that. And so I love watching people like masters that can do shit that I know I probably can't do. That's really cool.
That is the thing that to me defines greatness, is that obsession with detail and motivation and purpose.
And that's why I make documentary films. I don't have that eye.
Yeah. Who cares what color the
Who gives a fuck what the white balance is set at? The story is what matters. It's the story. Don't get it. All right, that's good. I'll put all that back in.